Good afternoon. We are glad to welcome you to our SAP Tech Talks webinar. A few words regarding the event organization. The webinar will be recorded and then posted on our YouTube channel. You may ask all your questions in the Q&A field. Our today's speakers are Anna Sannikova and Liubou Barbushyna, and the topic of their webinar is New Approach to Data Transformation and Migration, Harnessing the Power of SAP BTC. I give the floor to our speakers.
Thank you, Anna. So, hello guys. Let me present for you the new topic. So, my name is Anna Sannikova. I'm the business engineer and I have more than 7 years of experience with SAP products. And last years, my projects were based and focused on the migration processes. And I would like to present to you, together with Liubou, the topic regarding the new migration approach. So here is the agenda for our today's session. So today we are going to present you the new SAP product, SAP Business Transformation Center, and would like to go together with you from the discovery phase to the demo. And many thanks for all of you guys who joined the meeting. And I'm sure then you can pick up something really interesting for you regarding the modern approaches for data migration. Let's start. The first, let's discover what is the SAP Business Transformation Center, define which role it can play in modern world of transformation processes. Yeah, you may have heard the big news from SAP circles that SAP has extended the support for Business Suite 7 from the originally proposed 2025 to 2027, even with an optional extension to 2030. But in fact, for customers, it means that the day is coming. They need to think how they will transform their data to bring it to the modern world of S/4HANA. Together with it, this spring, SAP presented on the global conference, the SAP Sapphire 2023, the several key topics regarding the future of enterprise technology. And one of them, the new tool to accelerate the digital transformation according to the best practices, SAP Business Transformation Center, to have to end-to-end guided process for data migration and transformation. The digital blueprint is the first feature which was presented. It provides the scoping of data transition to S/4HANA. And of course, I would like to mention that the first feature supports the migration, the scenario of migration from ECC to S/4HANA. And of course, EPAM as a big corporation also often evolved into the migration topics and is to inspiring the review this product together with you guys. Let's jump a bit into theory and then go to the practice. Yeah. So most of the consultants are aware what is the SAP Activate methodology. Is the recommended implementation methodology when we are talking about the implementing the SAP S4HANA. Customers get the detailed descriptions for all relevant project activities. Yeah, and you can get how data has to be migrated from the old system to the new one, and what practices will be put into the play. Yeah, in other words, you will have something like a structured plan what to do. And at the beginning of the discovery phase, you can see the customer needs to be familiar with the SAP S4HANA, from the benefits of it, and also is important to select the right implementation strategy to create the SAP S4HANA. Yeah, and here on the new picture, you can see the different approaches for the migration to the SAP S4HANA. From the brownfield to the left side, when you have the like system conversion, to the greenfield, when you will have the pure implementation almost from the scratch, when you need to re-implement all the existing workflows and processes. And together with it, each approach has some advantages and disadvantages, but it has to be analyzed by customer to make a decision. But here is one more approach in the middle, which name selective data transition. And with the selective data transition, you can perform migration when you transfer only the important data, only relevant data to the new system, rather than all data, which was with the brownfield. But unfortunately, you cannot perform this transformation if you don't have third-party tool. Yeah, and it means that it will increase the risk for your data will be stolen or damaged. And because of it, SAP now is focusing with its new product, SAP Business Transformation Center, to particular this approach. Yeah, and let's go to the next slide. Give me a second. And here I would like to show you which tools already exist on the market. Yeah, you will see here the table with high-level comparison of the existing tools for the data migration. So you can see here some SAP products, or as well as third-party products as a Synity or SNP with their Crystal Bridge. The following picture provides the strengths and weaknesses of each approach, each tool. Yeah, and the migration team need to take into consideration which tool can provide the best coverage across different dimensions to achieve the successful data migration. But when you see all of these options, it's hard to make a decision, right? What is the right choice? Maybe we miss something. But what if we have not a full picture? Let's imagine here one more solution can come to play. I think you can guess which solution I'm talking about, right? It was just announced, and for now it has limited functionality, but maybe this is the right time to pay attention to this as well. Yeah, I'm talking about SAP Business Transformation Center, and as a possible, the near future for data transition processes. Let's take a look on the first feature of the solution, SAP Business Transformation Center, more precisely on the digital blueprint. As I said, to implement selective data transition, organization must first to identify which data is essential to be migrated. This process is really crucial, critical to ensure that new system will include only the necessary data, and all of the old and irrelevant data will be taken out. And here on this slide, you can see the screenshots taken from the digital blueprint apps as part of SAP Business Transformation Center solution. I'm, as a solution architect, the person who is actually responsible to create the scope of the project. What I can do with this solution, I can get really cool visualization how data are distributing across the system. And all this information is based on the real data, is data coming from your ECC system. This coming through the readiness check file, the specific report, which comes from the ECC system, which you can set up, of course, and we talk about it a bit later. And together with all of this, you can, as a solution architect, you can identify and use data and create the scope for data transformation project. It will be named as a digital blueprint. You can use it, you can see it, you can see it into the Excel form as well. And together with this visualization, let's sum up and review how SAP identifies and shares the main capabilities and benefits of the product. You can see it on the slide, right? And we will touch all the capabilities during our demo session. But regarding the benefits, yeah, sounds quite cool that the new solution will speed up the transformation project, will reduce the implementation costs, and will have the guided support from SAP. But that's not all. Together with it, our product is constantly getting improving and getting the new features enabled. Just an example, one of the last updates, the new functionality available regarding the table hierarchy for transformation object. Yeah, as you know, SAP stores the groups of semantically related tables as a transformation objects, or we can also name it as a business object. And now what you can do, you can check what is exactly inside of particular transformation objects, which tables inside, how they are connected with each other. And also you can do it in two views, in the table view and into the graph view. Yeah, sounds really curious, and you can ask me, yeah, how you can try it. And here is the 5 steps actually to enable the digital blueprint functionality, so you can try it. The first step is, what you need to do is subscribe to SAP Cloud ILM. So if you have a valid SAP Enterprise Support Maintenance Agreement, or you have some SAP Cloud Service subscription, or you have some cloud solutions already in place, you can use it for free. Yeah. The next step, what you need to do is to check the latest features and updates which are available. The next step will be to configure authorization and roles to have all the functionality in place. The first step, it's really important to get to know, this is to prepare the readiness check functionality. For this, you need to make some improvement on the side of your ECC system. You need to implement 2 additional SAP nodes. Everything is written in SAP help, so you can quickly go through and just check it. Yeah, but this is important for your ECC system. So in future, it can generate the readiness check export file, which you can use to get the metadata from your ECC system and to have the visualization, all those pictures which I showed just before. Yeah. And the last step, actually, it's not a step, you already can use the SAP Business Transformation Center functionality. So this is kind of theoretical part, and from the theory, I would like to go the most interesting part, the demo. Yeah, and I think Liubou can support me with this, and I would like to pass the ball to Liubou.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Liubou, and for my recent project, I used to work with SAP products. and my pleasure to announce and to guide you through the recently announced SAP BTC in May. And before going to the deployed version of Business Transformation Center on Cloud ALM, let's take a moment to synchronize our understanding on the main terms that we will use during our demo. So that's why I'd like to proceed to glossary first, just to ensure that you will follow me during my demo presentation. It's a really quickly one. The first term that I will use during my demo is readiness check file, or kind of RC file, like we called it sometimes. That's exactly what Anna mentioned previously. It is a zip file that is generated by your ECC system and that can be used like in future. The next one is blueprint. It is kind of artifact that is used for scoping, and I'd say like it's the base ground for our scoping within our Business Transformation Center. The next one is transformation object. Oh, sorry, like company code. Like company code is kind of filter that applied to your transformation objects, that like gathering everything together. And the last one is transformation object. Like the main source, the main, I'd say like heart that like we will work with and to do scoping. And as you see, like in our glossary, as well as Anna mentioned previously, it is kind of groups of related tables that like is used to be done in SAP. So I will mention all these topics a bit later as well, and we will have kind of this presentation afterwards, like not to miss in these terms. And yeah, now let's switch to product in live environment and proceed to demo part. Yeah, let me share my screen. And let's go through the application on its live environment itself. As you might see, I am on Cloud ALM SAP system. And if you've done all the 5 steps, or like 4 steps that Anna mentioned previously, you will be able to see in your Cloud ALM SAP Business Transformation Center section that was added and visible for you. It has 5 tiles in it. The first one is Manage Analysis Files. The next one is Blueprint, Company Code, Transformation Objects, exactly what I've mentioned during our glossary. And the final one is Digital Blueprint Overview. And yeah, let's briefly go each of these applications one by one. They can be also called kind of tiles. And firstly, I clicked on the first one for the Manage Analysis Files. And what I can do here, I can upload my readiness check file from my ECC system to work with in future. I'm just clicked on Create button, and you can see the form where you can upload your file. As you might see, here is kind of a good reference. If you forget how to set up like this file, you can just follow the SAP help and to generate this file on your ECC system. To upload the file, I just need to specify the title, any notes if you'd like, and to upload the zip file. Meanwhile, I see my system pop up. I'm selecting the zip file that was generated automatically from ECC system. You do not need to perform any additional adjustments or setups to work with it, just to upload the zip file that you obtained there. And I'm clicking on Create button. On the background, the system do parsing for the RC files that we provided for it with the generic information about the source system where the file was obtained, as well as for the high-level information for your metadata from your system. You can see, for example, for my file, it is 5 company codes and more than 100 transformation objects. Meanwhile, while the file was uploaded, system also performed kind of high-level checks if everything is okay, like if the structure of the file is compiled and it can be processed. If it is not so, you will see kind of like error message saying that let's update the file that you provided. It was the first step. We provided our file from ECC system and we've seen kind of its visualization. And let's go next to digital blueprint, the artifacts that will be directly used for scoping. The flow pretty much the same. I'm just clicking on the create button. I will see the form with the list of elements I need to be provided, the name, have the simplest one, any description if you'd like. And here I'm selecting analysis file that I'm just uploaded to the system to go and to work with in future. And clicking on create button. As for now, you might see everything in scope, just a simple visualization of the information that you obtained from your source system. You see the same company codes like a 5 number and transformation objects. By default, everything is in scope, but you can play with the scoping later in the next applications. And actually, let's do these steps. I'm going to the company codes application and what this application provides for me, what the opportunities I can see and obtain here. So I'm selecting my blueprint and clicking go button. And instead of just simply numbers that we've seen on the blueprint part, you can see a visualization and the graphics for the information for your company, for your transformation objects. As well, it is kind of common possibilities to play around, for example, with the visualization of your graphics. For example, we'd like to select pie charts, or let's go back to the columns. As well, you can even hide the graphics and left table only to review it. As well, you can go through each and every company code to see its details. So Business Transformation Center provides you kind of visualization of the metadata that you will work with the possibility of see like related transformation objects as well as open objects and to obtain more information regarding it. I will go next to the next application for transformation objects, but we will do kind of like dynamic exercise afterwards just to do a scoping in a few minutes after now. So just let's go through the end to gain into visualization and into the basic functionalities that we have for Business Transformation Center. The next style is transformation objects. Exactly the heart of transformation and the items that we are working with. My blueprint is pre-selected and I can load the data for it. You can also see the information for our transformation objects here as grouped by areas with the information of the numbers and SAP application component, for example, here. The same approach, you can go through each and every transformation object with the detailed information for it directly to obtain more info what you will work with in future. Meanwhile, it's a good one, like a good hint that SAP has it's like in Cloud LLM itself, hub functionality. If you're afraid that you do not know like what this specific button or application will mean, you can just click on the help, and the help will guide you through each and every element on the page just to help you proceed with your scoping. And for example, let's focus on this button, like go to technical details and what it says for me. So it displays a table hierarchy for the selected transformation object. So I can go through it and to see the hierarchy itself. Yeah, probably let's click on it. And let's see what information I can see here. And here it's kind of the tables itself that we've mentioned during our glossary, and the details for the tables within this transformation object, as well as a graphic representation for all the dependencies that you might have within this transformation object. So the solution architect that will perform the migration in future can update all the required technical details for the tables and object itself to make a decision how and when this object will be migrated. Let's go back to our application. And let's focus probably on one more transformation object within this first part of demo. I will just perform additional search, and you see there is a bundle of filters that will help you to deal with your data. And let's go through the CO document transformation object itself. Just let's pay attention to the data counts. By default, as I've mentioned, our blueprint has everything in scope. And the total data count and relevant data count is the same value. If to speak for these numbers, what does it mean? Like total means the kind of initial information, and relevant, the scope that we want to migrate in future. I'll be back to these numbers in a few minutes. Just let's finish overview of all the tiles before going to kind of dynamic exercise. The last one is digital blueprint overview. I'm selecting my blueprint I'd like to overview and clicking Go button. And the system provides you kind of summary of all information that it has for your blueprint. Company codes, values for the company codes, or even numbers, if it's better for you to work with this. For now, as we mentioned, everything is in scope, we have 5. The same for transformation objects, system hints, kind of recommendations from the system for you, what might be improved within your blueprint, and technical summary for the source system that we've used to generate our RC file and we are working with. Here is kind of 5 applications that are available for each and every person with access to Cloud LLM. And we've covered visualization and main capabilities of the product. And as I mentioned now, let's probably move to more dynamic part of our session. While the product itself that you can see here indeed offers really nice visualization, its primary purpose is to perform scoping and to prepare your data for the future migration. So let's do kind of exercise and let's act as a solution architect, and let's imagine that we'd like to migrate our data from our system, not of the whole bunch of the information, but only data that belongs to EU region. And I'd say that is not older than 5 years, for example. To accomplish this exercise, before I'll do the scoping and will provide you these possibilities, just let's move back a bit to the theory, just to focus on the company codes and transformation objects relations. Let me quickly reshare my screen just to provide the overall information, I'd say, for these relations. Yeah, just a second. I will find the the desired one. So hope you see my screen for now. It is kind of just a quick overview regarding company codes and transformation objects. As we've mentioned, transformation objects kind of a main instance that we are working with, and company codes can be just a filters for them. You can see that transformation object 1, for example, can be filtered or kind of belong to the company code A, B, and C. And the volumes might be belong to the same approach, kind of like 5 volumes here, 10 here, and 15 here. As well as, for example, transformation object 2 can be filtered on applicable for the company code B. So it's kind of like business structure for the data, how it can be obtained and filtered. And let's back to our presentation, and let's go back to the solution deployed to Cloud LM, and let's do the scoping. I'm back on the company codes application. We have a task as a solution architect to migrate the data that belong to EU region and that is not older than 5 years. Firstly, let's go through our company codes. And I've already see here like company code for China. So probably it's not what I want to migrate for this particular task. I can just simply do a selection by a checkbox and click on mass edit and to perform kind of out of scope. Let's do not move the migration for this item particularly. What can be done next? Let's pay attention to the hints that I've mentioned. It's kind of dynamic suggestions from the system for your items and for your data. Let's pay attention to this one for Sweden. This hint saying, so there is no data associated with company code, so probably you do not do migration for it. And actually, I can agree. Let's click on this checkbox and move out of scope this data as well. And you see, by the way, the hint disappeared. So like we've done the same way as system suggests us. The next one, what we can do, let's focus on Spain and what the system said to me. So here is like no documents created since 2016. So it was last activity in that year. So please check if you're sure that this one should be migrated. By clicking directly on the record, I can get access to the information of this company code itself. And let's review it. And actually what I see, all the related transformation objects are dated by 2016. And I guess it's like not what I want to do. And I'd like to move this item out of scope. I also can do it via this split view on the details, just clicking on the edit button and mark it out of scope here. And let's click the save. And the next one, hint what I can see for Italy, what it's saying. So the last activity was what, 2021. Please check if like it's relevant or not. Let's go to this one particular. And let's go through related open objects. I can see that the activity there was most part of the 2016, but at least I see that something was in 2018 as well as here. I can see that 2023 we have like also a lot of activity. So I assume that this company code is applicable for my migration. And I guess I'm done with the at least company code scoping. And by the way, I'd like just to summarize all this visualization, all the hints and like all the data distribution and information for the transformation objects and open items is based on your zip files that you just generated in your UCC system and uploaded to SAP BTC. Yeah, company codes looks like already scoped. We have this one hint that we've reviewed that everything is okay, and this one that was saying that probably you moved out of scope something with the data inside, but actually that's what I wanted. So I've reviewed all the hints. I've done all the scoping for the company codes. And let's go next to the transformation objects, just to review how my scoping affected them. I'm still filtering by the digital blueprint. And let's go to the CEO document, exactly set transformation objects that we've looked through in the very beginning. And let's review what is going on there. And actually, when I'm uploaded the details of this transformation object, I can see that the relevant data count, the real information that will be migrated in future, is decreased. And why it's so? Because we've moved from the scope the company code that was not fitting our expectation. You see that China record is not in scope, and that means that our data is less by this number. I can do pretty much the same scoping activity with the transformation objects. At least let's try to do it for the zero records. You see, I have also hints generated for my zero value records with a suggestion that, yeah, probably we need to move out it from our migration scope. I'm doing it, it's pretty much the same way, while mass edit and just selecting the checkboxes, and they've marked as out of scope. We've performed scoping for the company codes. We performed kind of adjustment for the transformation objects. And let's review the digital blueprint itself, kind of a summary. Here, you can see for the company codes, if you might remember, we've left only 2 in scope, and that's what our system summarized for us here. As well as for the transformation objects, we performed kind of adjustments, and some of information is not in scope and will be not transferred. The same is aggregation levels that would say that 13% of our data will not be transferred because out of scope. As well as the system hints, we have struggled with some of them, but system says us that there is still some adjustments that can be done for your blueprint. I'm for now on transformation object section, and it's saying that we have kind of this list of hints. I can easily click on it and will be redirected back to transformation objects to finalize my scoping based on the system suggestions. I can click on select all available items on this page, in 13, and to perform mass edit. Let's exclude it from the scope. And I have 48 left. And let's complete our exercise fully, just to exclude from the scope zero values. There might be another suggestions from the system, but actually it's my test file, and I know that there is zero values, so I'm easily and quickly do it in this way. So I adjusted all the data. My filter was done as my blueprint and hint yes. So now hints from the system regarding our blueprint and transformation objects. And let's go back to our digital blueprint overview. And you can see that the system hints has been reset to 0. So we've done everything the system suggested us for the transformation objects. And actually, we've done the scoping of the data. And I guess the data scoped, and we are ready for the future migration, kind of moving data to the target system in future. Thanks for following me during this demo. And let's shift our focus back to the slides and to the key insights and kind of future of the solution. Yeah. You should see now back the slides, and I'd like just to summarize the key points that we've showed during the demo. We had explored the initial steps of data analysis and of scoping during the demo. We've reviewed the capabilities that are already available for you. It's worth nothing to mention that BTC Business Transformation Center can be easily accessed and set up for everybody with Cloud LLM access from SAP. Additionally, SAP offers demo tenant where you can personally try out all these capabilities. You can access this demo tenant by the direct link on these slides. I guess it will be shared afterwards. However, it is also important to remember that it's just a beginning. You see only two first steps are kind of fulfilled. And as we look ahead, I'd like to suggest you to explore the roadmap to discover the future capabilities of data migration with SAP Business Transformation Center. To access the roadmap, you can just simply scan this QR code and you'll be redirected to roadmaps that SAP shares for this BTC product itself. As well as you can see additional source links to set up the product or probably to gain additional help information as probably it was not enough during such demo. And in conclusion, I'd like to thank you for your interest in this topic and encourage you to use this possibility to stay one step ahead in data migration and be prepared to SAP Business Transformation now. Use the links. Thank you, and I guess we are ready to Q&A session if there are any questions from the audience.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot to our speakers. So while you are generating your new questions, we encourage you to join our community on other social networks like Facebook, Telegram, LinkedIn, and of course via community platform via the links in the chat. So, and let's get down to the questions. We have several questions. The first question is it possible to use SAP BTC with non-SAP solutions? So who is going to answer this question?
Probably I would like to start. So for now, when we are talking about using the SAP BTC, we're only talking about the moving data from ECC to S4HANA. As a possible future, it can be a non-SAP solution probably, but we need to check the roadmap which Liubou just shared. So please, guys, take a look on it carefully. New functionality is coming and roadmap is announced.
Got it. Thank you. The next question. What are the main benefits of SAP BTC in comparison with similar solutions provided by competitors?
Thank you guys for the question. Yeah, as I already said, this is the hard decision for the customer to go with one or another migration approach. And this is only beginning from the SAP BTC. And one of the main benefits, I would say, that SAP provided the guided procedure how to do it. And you will do it within the SAP tools, not within the some third-party tool. Yeah, so it will, I think, give you some guarantees for the successful migration. So to see it on the details, yeah, we need probably to go deeply to what the approach, what the benefits of other ones, and it's not enough time for this current session to discuss all of it. But please, again, take a look on the roadmap. You will see what SAP will provide in the future with SAP BTC. And I think in future, we can really compare the tools which is already exist and the SAP BTC as the new competitive tool to use.
Thanks a lot. So I will check the chat if we have any other questions. So there are no questions for now. Probably the session was so informative that people don't have questions. So thanks a lot for your participation and for the interesting speech. As already mentioned, today's webinar recording will be posted on our YouTube channel. The links to the recording will be sent separately. Colleagues, thank you very much again for your participation and have a nice day.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.